Season ahead, a look inside Inter Miami as the MLS season starts.
Miami Showdown, a preview of FIU versus UM baseball at Lone Depot Park.
And going bananas for baseball, exclusive coverage of the Banana Ball. All of this and more on the sideline. Hello, South Florida, and welcome to the Sideline, the place where you get all your sports news and highlights from your South Florida teams. I'm Julian Descano.
I'm Mia Florian, and the Sideline starts now. The MLS is back, and Inter Miami sets their goal to play at the highest level in all competitions this year.
Sideline's Mauro Rueda has more on the team's new look and how they're preparing for the long season ahead.
After a historic regular season and a disappointing exit in the playoffs last year, Inter Miami has a different coach, new signings, and will look to make history in the new season.
Jordi Alba is amongst the team's most experienced players, well accustomed to competing in several tournaments during a long season.
Competitions are not won with 11 players. It takes the whole squad. Unfortunately, there will be injuries and suspensions, so players must be ready when it's their time to play. I think there is a very competitive team that will surely help us win titles.
New head coach Javier Mascherano is taking one step at a time while managing his first club after a successful playing career.
I think that in a season as long as this one, looking further to the next game would be a mistake. We will look at the Club World Cup and Leagues Cup when it's time to do that. Now, our focus is to start the MLS season in the best way possible.
One major change this year is goalkeeper Oscar Ustari now starting instead of Drake Callender after re-signing in January.
Good. I feel good. Luckily, from a physical standpoint, I felt good for a while. And on the pitch, the goalkeeper always needs to play some minutes and find continuity. I'm having that today, and can also share the experience I have due to my career.
Stars like Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez will be back for Inter Miami this season as they look to win their first MLS Cup ever in the last season here at Chase Stadium. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Mauro Rueda.
Now heading into the season, Inter Miami secured its first victory in the 2025 MLS regular season. They dominated over the host Houston Dynamo last night with a 4-1 win. Luis Suarez was the MVP, assisting the first 3 goals, and later extended the team's lead to 0-4 with his own in the 79th minute. Starting the season off well, this win continues Inter Miami's undefeated streak.
The Ice Cats beat the Calgary Flames 3-0 this past weekend, making it Florida's 8th win in 10 games. Sergei Bobrovsky stopped 23 shots from the Flames. We saw Rodriguez and Gajovic both score in the second period of the match, and then Samoskevich sealed the game and scored the third goal with just 3 minutes left. It was clear Calgary doesn't bring their offense to Florida since they lost their past 2 games in the state this week. Although Florida's Matthew Tkachuk continues out of the game with an injury from the Four Nations face-off, the Panthers seem to be holding up just fine.
And following their win against the Pacers, Miami were hoping to continue their home game winning streak against the Knicks, but they couldn't secure the win. Miami opened up with a Bam Adebayo driving a slam dunk, followed with Kelly Ware jamming in a bucket to push Miami ahead. Miami kept their lead up until the fourth quarter, where Knicks' Jalen Brunson driving in a layup to tie the game, taking it into overtime. Miami fought hard to get a win with a Bam scoring fadeaway jumper to give them back the lead, but the Knicks didn't stay down and the Heat fell just short of 4 points. The final score was Knicks 116, Miami 112. Miami will continue their home game stretch against the Washington Wizards tonight at 7:30. A showdown for the 305 will take place Tuesday night at Lone Depot Park between the FIU and UM baseball teams.
Sideline's Anthony Cruz got to catch up with some of the players and joins us live from the FIU baseball stadium. Anthony?
Me and Julian, it's one of those games that's circled on the calendar every single year at the FIU baseball stadium. And now that it's being upgraded to the site of one of the biggest upsets in school history, FIU look to rekindle some of that magic tomorrow.
Serrano sends it into left field, base hit. Fred around third, coming to the plate. FIU wins it. Another walk-off.
It's been that kind of start for FIU baseball this season. After a clean sweep of the Merrimack Warriors this weekend, they sit at 11-1 at home, entering this backyard rivalry game. And with their upcoming schedule loaded with Florida schools. Star first baseman Brylan West says that FIU is trying to show that they can hang with the top teams in the state.
Man, we're just trying to prove that we belong. Like I said, just one game at a time. We're going to show up. We're going to play hard. We're going to play to the best of our abilities. We're going to pitch. We're going to hit, and then hopefully we get the dub on top each game.
West, one of FIU's best hitters, is looking to send one over the wall at Lone Depot.
Man, it'd be cool, it'd be really cool. Something that probably a few people has done in their baseball career.
And senior Logan Rundy, who's been one of FIU's top pitchers to open up the season, says he's also excited about playing in a professional stadium for the first time.
I mean, definitely a dream come true. I've never done such a thing, so I'm going to be really looking forward to this game, and it was circled on the calendar right when it came out.
And a battle for the 305 would not be complete without a little Miami Vice. So FIU will be wearing their recently debuted Vice jerseys on Tuesday. Bringing some Miami Vice and cafecito to Lone Depot Park. I guess you could call this game the Dale Bowl. Reporting live from FIU Baseball Stadium, I'm Anthony Cruz.
And now for our biggest W's and L's, a weekly segment where we look down at the biggest wins and worst losses of the week. Starting off with your W, Mia.
Well, my W is Inter Miami's 4-1 win against the Houston Dynamo last night. Miami's midfielder Telasco Segovia scored 2 goals, making his record 3 goals in his only 2 MLS games. The other goals were scored by Allende and Suarez, and of course, we can't forget, during extra time, Ian Frey did receive a red card over a verbal exchange. Of course, Mascherano was furious, but what the ref says goes. Inter has been starting off strong this 2025 MLS season, and they stand 3rd place under Philadelphia and Columbus.
And my biggest W of the week, we will take us to Spain, where the soccer royalty Real Madrid faced off against underdogs Real Betis in a La Liga match. Already coming off 2 previous wins spearheaded by former Manchester United winger Antony, Real Betis were hoping to continue their winning streak into the weekend against an already stacked Real Madrid roster. Madrid opened up the scoreboard early in the first half with Brahim Diaz scoring a tap-in assisted by left-back Ferland Mendy. However, Betis refused to let go, with former Real Madrid star Isco crossing it into the midfielder Johnny Cardasso, who sunk it in the back of the net to tie the game. Early in the second half, Betis won themselves a penalty, where former Madrista was able to sink it in and gave them the win. The final score was Real Betis 2, Real Madrid 1.
Okay, and now for my L. We're going to take it back to Saturday night's main event, where Tank Davis and Lamont Roach's fight was ruled a majority draw. This result was not anticipated at all, and it was honestly pretty disappointing to see. Tank had a flawless professional record of 30 wins with 28 by knockout, with no draws or losses. And now it kind of just seems wrong to see that one draw on his record, but at least he was able to retain his title belt. And if we're being honest, it was a pretty even fight, so I think the draw was fair enough. Of course, the fighters didn't agree though, especially Roach, after Tank took a knee in the 9th round and wasn't counted as a knockdown. After the fight, Tank stated that it was because the grease that his stylist put in his hair was getting into his eyes. Can you believe that?
I can't believe that. Well, my biggest L of the week brings us to NCAA men's basketball, where number 3 ranked Florida went against unranked Georgia State team. The Gators entered the game riding a 6-game winning streak and were heavy favorites to win, but the Bulldogs had something else in store for the Gators. From the start, Georgia came out aggressive, setting the tone with their defensive pressure and efficient shooting. Georgia's Silas Damari Jr. balled out with a 21-point performance, hitting 4 3-pointers that kept the Bulldogs in control for virtually the entire game. Florida, on the other hand, couldn't even find their rhythm, struggling to contain Georgia's guards and failed to get key defensive stops. They did make a late push in the second half, however, cutting Georgia's lead to a single possession at the times. But even though Florida seemed like they were coming back, Georgia responded with a big shot and a defensive bind. Final score was Florida 83, Georgia 88. We have to go to break, but stick around because here's what's next on the sideline.
Well, I think a few years ago, ESPN called it the greatest show in sports, and we're trying to be the fastest, most entertaining game out there. And
a look inside the entertaining world of banana ball. Sideline will take a timeout, and we'll be back after the break.
a tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes?
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by PantherTech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
The Savannah Bananas were in Miami, and no, I'm not talking about the fruit, though this team definitely brought the peel.
Peel? Really? That was bananas, man. But you're right, this team turned baseball into a full-blown party. Sideline's Nicolette Esper joins the fun and has more on the story.
For those of you who haven't heard of the Savannah Bananas, they're the viral sensation that's taking baseball by a storm. They're trading in the traditional 9 innings for a 2-hour high-energy spectacle that's part baseball, part circus, and 100% pure entertainment. The best part is they came right back here to the 305.
So what exactly is Banana Ball? It's a high-energy twist on traditional baseball, faster, funnier, and full of surprises.
Well, I think a few years ago, ESPN called it the greatest show in sports, and we're trying to be the fastest, most entertaining game out there. And we're fortunate that we're having these games now in an hour and 50, 2 hours, and just action-packed, and that's what we're trying to build.
Knowing how to play the game of baseball at a high level is important. That is why most players, like Miami native Armando Becerra, have a great history in the game.
Yeah, I have a long history in baseball. I went up to play in South Carolina, and in that region I got picked to play for the Bananas first in 2022, and pretty much once I finished at FIU, graduated, I pretty much got contacted by Coach Tyler Gillum to come play for the Party Animals, and here I am.
Whether it's the unique rules, the Miami vibe, or the love of the game, one thing's for sure, Banana Ball is changing the way we think about baseball. And for the fans and players alike, it's an experience they'll never forget.
The Savannah Bananas promise a baseball experience like no other, and of course, as you can see, they deliver every time. From the fans to the players, they are sure to leave with a smile on their face. You can visit thesavannahbananas.com to find out when they come to a stadium near you and maybe catch some Banana Ball of your own. For now, at Lone Depot Park, reporting for Sideline, I'm Nicolette Esper.
It's time for this week's Game Picks.
Sideline Sabrina Lozano gives us her insight on what's to come this week.
Hello everyone, I'm Sabrina Lozano and welcome back to Game Picks. First up, the Miami Heat face the Washington Wizards tonight. The Heat have had some strong performances this season, but consistency has been their biggest challenge. Tyler Hero continues to step up as a key offensive weapon, while Bam Adebayo remains a dominant force in the paint. On the other side, the Wizards have struggled defensively and have had difficulty closing out games. Given Miami's depth and experience, I expect the Heat to come out on top. Next, we shift to the ice as the Florida Panthers take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Panthers have been one of the most well-rounded teams in the NHL this season, thanks to their strong defensive play. Meanwhile, the Lightning remain a dangerous opponent with their championship pedigree and the ability to put up points quickly. This one's going to be a close one, but I believe the Panthers' momentum give them the edge. Finally, we turn to the CONCACAF Champions Cup, where Inter Miami takes on Cavalier SC. Inter Miami has been in excellent form, coming off a dominant 4-1 win last night and remaining undefeated this season. Their solid teamwork and attacking style have made them tough to beat. While Cavalier is a strong team, I expect Miami's pace and skill to give them the advantage. That's a wrap for this week's Game Picks. Until next time, I'm Sabrina Lozano. Thanks for watching.
Just a reminder that if you want to keep up with updates, fun segments, and more from our crew, you can follow our Instagram for all things Sideline. Follow us at sideline.caplin. That's it for today. I'm Mia Florian.
And I'm Julian Lescano. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next week on The Sideline.